This is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, perpetual meaning a very, a very long lasting hatred, because th- they actually had this hate from the ancient world. It actually spanned all the way back to the actual men, Jacob and Esau. That's where that hatred comes from. It's spiritual, and I don't think a lot of these Edomites, whether they're openly racist or like the government today, they're very openly racist. They're getting rid of. They want to get rid of slavery in the history books in schools. You know, DJT. You know, he wants to do that, and he's trying to remove Jake from history, or whether you go to these cities and they're your friendly so-called white people, the friendly Edomites who have black friends, black and Spanish friends, you know, they're still racist too, but they're just they just show their hate towards Israel in the closet, meaning at home, or on the dinner table, or they show it, underhandedly, like they will say certain things that don't sound right to you, you know, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So it's been, just non-stop bloodshed by the hands of the so-called white man towards the children of Israel, even to this day. Northern Kingdom, Jakes, right? I believe it was a month or 2 months ago. They found a Latino, Jake, hanged on a tree, hung on a tree. In the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, thus saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So, blood will in turn chase the so-called white man, because during this fall of Babylon the Great, when all hell breaks loose, a lot of Israelites will die, of course, the 2/3. But then the Most High is gonna destroy a lot of Edomites too, and only Israelites will be saved from nuclear destruction when the missiles hit Babylon the Great. And also, you have to remember that any people leaving here, the soils of America, Babylon the Great, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, they will be destroyed. Like, there's no such thing as a good Edomite. Any heathen here, when that time comes, they're gonna be fuel for the fire. They're gonna be a part of the sacrifice, you know, of the Lord. Thus I will make Mount Seir, it's talking about Esau, the so-called white man, because that's where they dwelt, in Mount Seir, most desolate, meaning empty, because Babylon the Great will be a giant desert after the fire cools off from the destruction of the missiles. Just like how you have a desert, in Saudi Arabia, and a large portion of Africa is a desert, but but America will be a giant desert after the fire dies down, which might take years, to be honest, because even forest fires, they take a while to die down. When the towers got hit, it took months for that to go away, for the smoke to go away. So imagine a whole country, like I believe 5,000 square miles. Yeah, America is either 2,000 or 5,000 square miles of land. So it's a giant portion of land that they stole, and that's a part of the reason why this place will be judged, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Well, let me finish it. And I will fill his mountains with slain men in thy hills and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers. You have the Great Lakes. That's in between Canada and America, right? That's going to be dried up. Shall they fall that are slain with the sword? I will make thee a perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, because the Lord, when he destroys Babylon, right, is not going to be built up. The land of Israel will be built up, because that's going to be hit by missiles as well and be completely destroyed. But the Lord is going to build that up. He's going to demolish it. Like you have an old building. In order for that area to be built back up, it needs to be destroyed by detonation, to bring that building down so that they could clean it up and start building again. It's the same thing, like with our land. The Most High will destroy it and then build it back up, and He's going to use the heathens to do it. We're going to be over the heathens, telling them what to do, and they're going to build up the land, because we're not going to work, labor for the heathens in the kingdom. It's going to be the other way around. And in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, meaning ongoing. This place is not going to be inhabited ever again. And thy city shall not return. So after the fire cools down, these elites won't come back into power. So no one will, have, construction workers and construction managers, and they're not gonna mine metal from the earth and get wood from great trees, and get electricians and HVAC people, and get workers to build cities, build the sewer system, build the water system. None of that's ever gonna come back again. No city and no people is gonna be here ever again. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Now I want to get this before I end the lesson. Oh, and also, a part of Babylon's destruction is going to be a second dose of fire by Yahweh Shai and the angels. They're going to shoot lasers from the chariots on Babylon the Great. So while missiles are hitting Babylon, and the elect is being beamed up and saved from the fire, Yahweh Shai and the angels will smack Babylon, and the people, the cars, everything here, with lasers from the chariots. So a double dosage of fire. The Lord could have had it to where, okay, the missiles are enough, because the missiles, when they hit is like millions of degrees, like a couple times. The temperature is a couple times, meaning multiplied higher than the sun. So that should be enough. But no, the Lord is like, here's a double dose of fire from the chariots. Right? So that's a part of, the judgment. I want to get this and then end the lesson. A Bible comparison. So the USO, which are the chariots that are flowing under the water. They might, to be honest, they might be actually going at light speed in the water, because they could do that. They're from another realm. They could do that. NIV says, I will make Mount Seir a desolate waste and cut off from it all who come and go. So the people that leave Babylon to come back, or the people that come and visit Babylon, like you have tourists. Oh yeah, Times Square. That's like a large tourist attraction for all of the world. When you go to Times Square, literally, I'm not even gonna lie, any day you could go to Times Square, especially during certain time of the day in NYC, in Manhattan. You'll see all types of tourists come here. Well, there's not going to be any more tourist attraction here, because it's just going to be a giant desert. BBE says, and I will make Mount Seir a cause for a wonder and a waste, cutting off from it all comings and goings. So no more flights. Spirit Airlines is done. No more flights coming in and out of Babylon. No more ships, bringing in cargo, goods, cars, imports from the other nations coming in here. No more exports either. So Esau don't have to worry about immigrants in that day, because everything's gonna be, a waste, like nothingness. AMP says, I will make Mount Seir, Edom, in parentheses, which is a so-called white man, starting with their elites, the elite banking families, going on down to the world governments. And, America is a world power. It's a world Edomite power. And then you have Russia, which the Lord will use to destroy America. That's another world power, which the Russians are Edomites as well. And they're not gonna come into power after America is destroyed. It just will be Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai and the elect. That's it. A ruin and a desolate wasteland. That's a desert. And I will cut off from it the one who passes through, and the one who returns. And that's the end of the lesson on the USOs, unidentified submerged objects, which is chariots passing under the ocean, passing under the waters. And the other topic was them desecrating Jake Graves, and them writing, Trump on it. And that's the end of the lesson. Lord wills, edifying. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.